So my first question is, how do I know the limit of how much I can charge for my work? I know that each price is contextual. It has to do with the client and the project. But at the end of the day, I want to know, I know that there's a limit to the value I can bring to my clients. And I don't really know what that looks like in terms of pricing.
Why do you believe there to be a limit to how much you can charge and your worth? I want to ask you that first question. Why do you believe that to be true?
I mean, I guess you just totally unveiled the fact that I have a limiting belief. So I don't really know where that belief comes from. I think I have a limited education. I didn't go to design school.
All right.
I actually found the Futur, like your first episode, when I was about to graduate high school, and I started like watching all the videos that the Futur released. So that, in addition to lynda.com, is essentially my design education, in addition to like client work.
So let's attack that first thing. First of all, you just made me feel really old saying that our first videos when you were in high school. Oh my God. Because we only did those videos like 4 years ago. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you very much for making me feel really ancient today, but that's all right. That's okay. Now, you're saying that because you didn't go to school and because you learned from the Futur and from lynda.com, then maybe you're not worth as much as the people who go to a regular school. Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, stop right there. Yes. Well, then we must say that then therefore people who go to a regular private art school who have learned by other means are then therefore superior to us. Is that what you're saying?
Not always.
Not always. All right. So who are some of the most revered artists that you know? Did they go to school? Did they go to the School of Hard Knocks? Where did they learn what they know how to do?
I mean, I follow a lot of the work that the Futur highlights and your work, and I know a lot of you guys are like art center grads.
Yes, some. Yes.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess that is like a really limiting belief of mine. But I do know that I have like limiting experience. You know, like I couldn't charge $1 million for a brand identity. Like I don't have the experience under my belt to assure a client and be like, I got this, you know?
Yes. Okay. So before we move on to the next topic here, meaning that I just want to tackle one thing at a time. The first thing you talked about is education. And there is a correlation between the kind of education that you have and the things that you know how to do. But that doesn't mean that it has to come from a 4-year private art school. Not at all. Because there are plenty of people who graduate from art school who are terrible. And it has a lot to do with the individual, their mindset, their work ethic, the instructors that they're exposed to, and a number of other circumstances, okay? So just because you graduated from a fancy art school doesn't mean that you're any good. It does say something about your ability to pay, your ability to get into the school, and your commitment to get through it, but that's just only one dimension, one metric. One of the most famous and celebrated motion designers is Danny Yount. And Danny didn't go to any school. I think high school is where he went to. Also, Doyle Young, who taught at Art Center, has a high school education. And he's incredibly knowledgeable. I mean, when he was alive, he's passed away, but Doyle is a master letterform designer. So how is that? So I think we put too much emphasis on institutional knowledge, and there's many ways to acquire that. And we would be hypocrites if we told you that that's the only way, because we produce this content and this channel specifically for people who don't have access to those kinds of things, so that they can potentially work in the creative field and feel fairly confident that they know what they're doing. Pricing and finding value, you need to know this, that any transaction between you and a client is an exchange of value. So each person looks at it differently than the other person. And so what we're trying to do is find something that's good for both the client and for yourself. And that's going to range, and it's going to be a different thing for each client. Okay? So we need to just know that first. And somebody is coming to you with an emergency and they have a lot riding on whether or not this is going to work out or not. They're going to put a lot more value in the task. And somebody, on the other hand, maybe a smaller business that doesn't really think about design or branding or websites or whatever it is that you do, they're going to put a lot lower value. And it's impossible to convince one or the other of the opposite position being true. So the person's coming to you saying, this is not valuable to me. You're like, okay, it's not valuable to you. Well, what is? Maybe I can help you with that. Because clearly you don't care about the logo or the menu design or the website that we're going to do for you. So what does matter to you? And if they say nothing, it's like, well, fantastic. Then you should spend nothing on this. And you should probably do nothing. Don't do it just because everybody else is doing it. And then conversely, the person who's like, Ria, this is a really big, important project. The last company we hired screwed up. We don't want to have that kind of same situation happen. And then you lean into that. You can say, well, how did it go wrong? Tell me about it. And then you listen very with a level of intensity, and you kind of take certain notes so that you can then either address it on the spot or you can circle back to it at a later point in time and say, okay, I heard you that communication and responsiveness is an issue. I want to reassure you that I'm going to respond to everything that you asked for within 24 hours. I'm going to give you my cell phone. You can call me day or night. I will respond to you. And then they feel a little bit more reassured that this is a good thing and that they're not going to run into the same situation as before. So you can invent systems to potentially resolve any client objection. So the person who values what it is that you're doing, you just have the value conversation with them. And the way that you do that is you ask them some of the questions that are motivating what it is that they're trying to do.
What's going on, guys? This is a cut down from a full video that I helped produce called Young Guns. What I'll do is I'll show it here somewhere. Watch it. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you.